Okay, so at the coalition, we produce a market analyze of the marketing of sugar-sweetened beverage because you have to know that it's the only food habit linked to obesity. And it's the object of an aggressive marketing. There is a lot of money. When we are talking about education, we cannot, you know, come, make any competition to the money invest to promote those products. It's really David against Goliath. For example, I have some data here, but in 2006, they spent 4 billion in soft drink advertising. Coca-Cola is budget for a year. It's 2.8 billion, and the last data that I have is $10 million a year only for neuromarketing. So they really analyze our brain and to make sure to develop product that suit to our needs or our value, and also having marketing of those product corresponding to the target. That's why there is so much sugar sweet beverage consumption, mostly teenagers. It's around half a liter for a boy, between a teenager boy, and 1/3 liter for girls, teenager girls. So why they're targeting them? It's because it's a lot of money. Also, they have a huge viral capacity, and also it's the future of the brand. When you catch them really soon, you'll keep them all their life. So someone from Coca-Cola used from they want to be with the consumer from cradle to grave. Okay, and with that they make sure that they have a future for the brand. So we analyzed 7 categories of sugar sweetened beverage. So the regular pop, the energy drinks, which is a huge success. All the Gatorade and sports drink, the fruit drinks, the vitamin water, which looks like a healthy choice, and the tea and the chocolate milk. So we took the 4 P's and we produced a report on each P. And we also have some summaries, and it's all available on our website, and it's in English also. So let's start with the product. So first, there is many options, and the objective is to make micro segmentation. So for example, the Rockstar here, you have many flavor, and also it multiply the occasion to drink those energy drinks because you want to taste all the kinds of energy drinks available. And it's the same thing with the vitamin water and everyone, and they also change the packaging to make it more attractive, and they're also using some suggestive name, vibrant color, and you see the little chubby that I saw you in the previous presentation with the game. So that's the little drink, the pink drink. So there is also many formats. So example of Coca-Cola, the 2 liter is for the men. The other one, the little can, is for the one concerned about his health. So they have really a micro segmentation for each of their product. So after analyzing this, we made some recommendation. The first one is to regulate all sugary drinks consistently and uniformly. Let me explain it to you. Vitamin water and energy drinks were not under the Food and Drug Act. They were regulated as a natural product, which means that they don't have to put the ingredient on it. So we wrote a letter to the federal minister, and finally she announced a transition of those drinks under the Food and Drug Act. So from now on, you will have the ingredient on energy drinks, vitamin water, but still they are on the same shelves as food. So at least all the drinks will be under the same regulation. So we are happy of that gain. And regarding energy drinks, also we obtained that there will be a maximum level of caffeine, and also a warning saying that it's not recommended for kids. So we tried to get, for children under 18 years old, but we didn't get it yet. But we're working on that. Also, we asked for having packaging informing instead of seducing, and to create a working group on sugar as the one on trans fat and sodium, and limit the caffeine content. So we got it. Now the price. Of course, it's the second most factor in young people's food choice after the taste. And it's clearly a tactic by the industry to be more attractive. I'll show you exactly how it goes. So you see here for the bread, the milk, and in the red line is a cola, and the yellow one is Sprite. So you see during the years that the price is at the same level. There is no big variation, but for the other food item, it's clearly raising the price. So it's a strategy to attract more consumer, of course. So we are actually advocating for a tax on sugar-sweetened beverage. The objective will be to get this money and to invest in prevention. For example, with 1 penny a liter produced, we could get in Quebec $8 million, and in Canada $34 million. So it's only for 1 penny paid by the industry. So from that, we can multiply, for example, at 10 cents a liter. So we could get only in Quebec $80 million, and the objective is to invest in prevention and in the food access, healthy food access. So it could be a snack in school with Quebec food and fruits and vegetables and things like this. So, and it is considered as promising by many well-known organisms like Institute of Medicine, OECD, United Nations, Yale Road Center, and there is many group actually in Canada advocating for this. And now we're going to talk about the placement, and it's fabulous. You will realize how many places we can find those sugar-sweet beverage. It's most of the time easier to find than the water fountain. And to show you where you can find it, we made a little video because sometimes an image is really powerful. So let's see it. The text is in French, but there is not many, and I'll try to. That's my son. So it shows that ici, there is a music usually, but there is not. So ici, sugar-sweetened beverage as soon as he get out the home, and we're trying to seduce him. That's funny because that's advertising to children. Huh? There is like a banner. So that's in the entrance of a grocery store, and it's in 75% of case, this is the first request of kids sugar-sweetened beverage. And they invest 195 million to target kids and teenagers in US. So, and we realize that there is so many places in the grocery store where we can find sugar-sweetened beverage. That's in front, that's R2D2. T2, and there is some, in front of the chips, just before the ready to eat. So many places at the cash register, and now at the convenience store, of course, the trucks. Always in promotion, 2 for $5, 2 for $4. All when you get in the convenience store, you're almost knock on them. with the ready-to-eat again. And energy drinks is the product with more promising for a convenience store, and it's in their specialized magazine. They really push for selling energy drink. In the dollar store also, we can find them easily at the restaurant. They even have umbrella and promoting a brand and at the arena. Actually, in Quebec, we have more than 20 cities who adopt a policy to ban energy drinks in their sports center and the place where children can go. So we made a resolution, a policy example, and now there is a clear movement across Quebec, and some cities adopt it. In pharmacy, and drugstore. It's pretty concerning because they are health professional, and also they have a lot of distribution in the street and even in the park. And the case of vitamin water is really funny because we found some in schools and in private schools, and they say, okay, that's a healthy option. So it shows that it works pretty well, their marketing, because they sell it as an healthy option, which is not. It's clearly more than 10 teaspoons of sugar and some vitamins that we don't need at all. So how we can consider, sugar-sweetened beverage as an exception when we can find it so easily, commonly, and so often. So I'll try to get back to my presentation now. Thank you. Okay, so there they are on strategic placement and they pay to get it. But we are actually in discussion with retailers to review their display policy. So we are quite confident it works well. So we'll try with one pilot and we'll see after, but at least we have a little gain. Regarding restaurants, sometimes you have to pay more to get a bottle of water. In municipality, as I mentioned, many adopt regulation to ban at least energy drinks, so we're starting there. And also regarding sugar-sweetened beverage, there is actually some cities who adopt also a new food policy. But it shows that when they go too strong, too fast, it doesn't work, and some people are requesting for their poutine and their Gatorade. Also, at the provincial level, actually, we don't sell anymore sugar-sweetened beverage in schools, but in hospital, we are actually doing it. We have until March 31st to do so. And we're asking also for all the public building to ban the sale of sugar-sweetened beverage. We made a survey last November to see if Quebecers are in favor of prohibiting the sale of energy drinks to under 18, because we've got also a dead related to that last week. So we seems to have a good public opinion supporting that. 87% of Quebecers are in favor of a ban on sale of energy drink for under 18. Okay, promotion. You'll see some good example. I mentioned before many techniques used. This is the definition of marketing to children by WHO. So advertising, website, sponsorship, advert game, contest, philanthropy, and many more. So they use many platforms. As you can see, there is a lot of share, there is a lot of view on those little clip produced by companies to market their product. And also there is many kind of sponsorships. So they're associated with sport, saying that it's not my product who's responsible for obesity. That's because people don't move enough. So, or also with music, and you'll see that they never promote the product. It's more the value associated with those products. And you have some good picture of the Red Bull Crash Ice that I mentioned just before. And of course, the legendary association of Coca-Cola with the Olympic Games. Celebrities, they even sponsor some athletes, medalists at the Olympic. Joanie Rochette is associated with Pepsi now, Alex Harvey with Red Bull, and many other athletes. The product placement. So American Idol, they receive 12 million from Coca-Cola in placement for the first one, the first show, but 60 million for the full season. Even the logo of American Idol, just behind it was like bubbles and a brown liquid. So it's really, and maybe people didn't realize that they were in front of an advertising from Coca-Cola watching the show. And I think the most ridiculous for me is that people pay to promote the brand. So they're buying those shirts at 80 bucks, and they are like a mascot for the brand. And that shoes, it's a kid's shoe with Red Bull on it, and it was maybe for a 3 years old boy. So as soon as, and people, parents doesn't realize that they just normalize the brand for the kid. They wear it, and from 3 years old is getting used to that brand, and he build on brand loyalty. Okay. Advert games, I thought I talked about it just before. So there is Red Bull, which is fantastic on advert games. Really, if you want to spend times, you have problem, sleeping. You have many games, and you'll be exposed to that brand for a long time, and you'll be able also to invite your friends. They also made, because we're used to product placement in movie, for example, in TV shows, but they also do in-game advertising. So they sponsor banners, across the basketball ring, or they sponsor cars on the racing games on PlayStation, Xbox, and everything. Also, viral marketing is pretty important, mostly at teenagers. So they use social media, they share it with their 1,000 friends on Facebook. And also, it's really cheap for them to promote, so they don't use any more traditional media. They, like Coca-Cola, they have 58 million fans on Facebook, and it was a year ago. I didn't look at it this morning. Maybe there are more. So they invite kids to go in La Ronde, which is like a event center, museum, and partying and things like that. So you have here some example of. So we have Coca-Cola 38 million, but there is also Red Bull, Monster, which is pretty active on the social media, mostly on Facebook. And they also associate with good cause. So Pepsi has this Refresh project. They give $1 million to support some community project. And Coca-Cola is saving the bears. So they have a Coke machine, for example, in the middle of a campus. They have a little happiness machine, and people press on a button, and they got a bike or something like this. And they make also some party. They launch happiness gang in Quebec. So it was a teenager inviting other teenagers to come for activities during summertime, and we were able to become their friends on Facebook, and they were answering to our message. And So what we ask in that report is to, at the federal and provincial level, as I mentioned before, is to ensure that there is sufficient financial resource and adequate structure for surveillance, and also to ban advertising to children, and creating a committee to analyze ways of reducing the impact of sugar-sweet beverage promotion. I'll show you a little Coca-Cola obesity prevention campaign. So you'll see then now they misled the public. They focus on the role of physical activity, and they try to show that they're doing something to prevent obesity. Whoops. Okay, let's try this one. This one is about Coca-Cola, and that's because Coca-Cola made. Oh, I don't have the sound. Oh, okay, doesn't matter. Oh.
Obesity.
Okay, I'll try to.
The long-term health of our families and the country are at stake. And as the nation's leading beverage company, we have played an important role. Across our portfolio of over 650 beverages, we now offer 180 low and no-calorie choices. These diet beverages still pose serious health risks. Even though we've reduced the calories per serving, these beverages can still cause kidney problems, obesity, metabolic syndrome, cell damage, and rotting teeth, which leaves 470
This is a joke.
which have extremely high, unhealthy levels of calories. Consuming large amounts of rapidly digested sugar and high fructose corn syrup causes a spike in blood sugar and insulin, which can lead to inflammation and insulin resistance, both of which may increase your risk of stroke, heart disease, diabetes, obesity, and cancer. Coke has also been known to accelerate aging and cause high cholesterol. The American Heart Association recommends consuming no more than 450 calories from sugar-sweetened beverages per week, the amount in about 3 cans of soda. Imagine if cigarette companies said they were doing something responsible to protect you. How would you react to that? Beating obesity will take action by all of us, based on one simple, common sense fact. All calories are not the same, and the calories in Coca-Cola products have no nutritional value. If you choose to live a healthy lifestyle, then you should not be drinking any of our products. If you drink Coke, you'll get fatter and fatter. The solution is simple, and it's right in front of your eyes. Don't drink Coke. It's killing you and your family. Coca-Cola. We're partially responsible for America's obesity problem.
So as Yanni mentioned, this is a spoof.
That's right.
Okay, a spoof. Good. So Coca-Cola produced a video with those images, but saying that they're fantastic, fabulous, and invest in sport and in the community. But I have here the link, and I think that we will give the presentation available to everyone if you want to look at it. And there is also the Real Bear, which is produced by CSPI, which is fantastic if you haven't seen it yet. And here is our report. So you can go on our website if you want to download it, and we have many more examples of the creativity of people from Coca-Cola and Pepsi, mostly, and Red Bull. So thank you.
Got a few minutes for some questions. I have one for Suzie right now. Suzie, do you know the extent to which cities or municipalities across the country would be able to impose taxes on sugar-sweetened beverages? Or is that a provincial matter, federal matter?
We look at the provincial and federal matter instead of municipality, because it requires a lot of effort to have something adopted by municipality. We have more than 3,000 municipalities. The energy drink story is about a guy, mayor in Amqui, which is at the east of Quebec, and he decided to ban energy drinks from his city building. And he received a letter from a lobbyist from the Bottlers of Canada telling him you shouldn't do this, and you give bad impact to our industry and things like this. But that guy, you know, that gives them the power and say, oh no no no, you won't tell me what to do, you industry and Mr. Lobbyist. So he invite all his colleagues from other cities to adopt the same policy. So it works against the industry, I will say, and now we have that champion, and he's asking to every city to ban energy drinks. For taxation, I think it will be hard to put in place.
So I'm sure that a lot of people in this room know that in New York they've done some very aggressive things. So I think New York's an example of a place where they are tackling things really in a way that's dramatic. And whether it's causal or not, they are seeing drops in childhood obesity rates there. Mm-hmm. Is anybody in Canada doing or talking about cup size limits like Bloomberg has in regard to circumventing the issue and challenge of taxation? Is that something we're considering anywhere in Canada right now? So just for in New York, they made it illegal to sell to vend Coca-Cola or any other soft drink in cups larger than half a liter. If you want to drink a liter, you still can. You just need to buy 2 cups.
Actually, in Quebec, we are in the development of our next prevention policy, but also healthy food policy and sport policy, as I mentioned this morning. And in the food policy, we're looking at it. We order a survey to see first the size of the plate in restaurant. Is there any support regarding this, and also the drinks? And there is a strong support regarding the portion of the drinks based on the New York experience, and it's considered by the government actually. So we'll see. I'm sure that we will have some strong lobbyists, but legally,
I wonder if it's easier legally. So because it was for New York. New York failed to pass the tax, and they were very able to pass this cup size.
True. Depending on the ticket.
Any more questions or comments? Here was one.
You mentioned that you were looking for a working group on sugar and that you got one. Could you tell us more about it?
We didn't get it. No, we asked for it. We got some other, but we would like to have one as the one on trans fat and sodium, but with more results.
Yeah, so the 2 task force that you just mentioned were both disbanded and ignored. I guess that's where I come back and talk about stone throwing, and there were people who made some noise, but I think we could have made a lot more noise about how these things just got jettisoned. It's amazing to me. The trans fat one especially. Here's something that's the Heart and Stroke Foundation's old CEO Sally Brown called a toxin in any amount, and everybody bought into it. And now not only are we not ready, we're not even looking anymore. So, I'd rather not spend our money on task forces that we disband, but rather spend our energies on calling out the disbanded task forces and trying to figure out what happened there. Because I think that's where we might spend, it's 2 more years of the task force talking about sugar just to get pitched out by the government saying, oh, well, thanks very much. Now we've just spent $2 to $4 million of your money and we're just going to ignore it.
It's hard actually at the federal level, but what we're looking at is to catching it at the provincial level. Because, for example, sodium, Quebecers are the biggest consumer of sodium, so we're trying to catch it in the next healthy food.
And I noticed you mentioned a lot of the Coca-Cola tie-ins, but you didn't mention participation.
I forgot. Usually I'm the one talking about it. Yes, because Coca-Cola is financing many groups, mostly sports group, and participation is financed by Coca-Cola.
It's been $10 million, and SoGo Active. I don't know if you've heard of. I think it's SoGo.
SoGo Active.
Yeah, so that's their program targeting teens. If you look at their videos, they explicitly say that the problem of obesity can be solved if we just all get off our butts. That's why Coca-Cola is there. It's to promote this message that you can drink our products so long as you exercise, and this problem isn't because of us, it's because of you. And $10 million, it's a lot of money so far from Coca-Cola Participation.
So I think we will thank Yoni and Suzie for the presentation. I think we are ready for lunch, which I believe is next door here. And we have until 12:45, I believe, and then we're going to come back to another good panel. Thank you.